welcome. Welcome back to Fl'AwesomeBlossom. My name is Kiki, and it is my privilege and my pleasure to be your host. If you are a returning bud, well then thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for your continued love and support. Please start leaving me some messages. Let me know who you are, what you want to talk about. What did you think of the apples? What do you think happened to the apples? I'm curious. If you are new to Fl'AwesomeBlossom, well then welcome. Welcome to the little corner of whimsy that I am carving out of my den. Today, we're going to pick up a little bit on the topic of food. But we're going to take a little bit of a left turn at Albuquerque today. All right? Please tell me that you're getting that reference. I don't think a lot of people are going to know that reference. It's a Bugs Bunny thing, okay? But we're going to slightly veer off the track tiny bit today, all right? Last time I talked about apples, I was like just boggled about what the heck is going on with our food because animals are not recognizing food as food and we're being told that that's food and we are consuming it. But, you know, if a raccoon snubs his nose at an apple, I should probably not be eating that either. If a scavenger says no, that should also be my hard line. Anyway, all right, here we go. Back to this. Back to food for thoughts and thoughts on food. Have you heard the term? Perhaps you are familiar with this phrase, you are what you eat. And I want to tell you, as someone who has a lot of knowledge on the human body, and specifically, I'm aware and have in-depth knowledge of all of our systems, including the digestive system. That statement is 60% accurate. You are kind of what you eat, but if we want to be a little bit more accurate and very specific, then let's be clear. You are what you absorb. So it's not just, have we all had corn on the cob, gone to the bathroom the next day, and I was like, oh, there's the corn in my log. Yeah. Sorry for the visual. But anyway, there it is. Because we didn't absorb it. Your body did not absorb the corn kernel. I want you to think about, what is it that you are absorbing in your food diet? Do you look at labels while you're buying your food? Do you know where your food comes from? We're going to talk more about urban gardening, and we're going to talk about some of those subcategories, as I mentioned. But today's topic, like I said, we're going to take a left turn at Albuquerque, and here we are. If we are what we absorb, I'm not just talking about food. I'm not just talking about corn and high fructose corn syrup. We're still going to be talking about food, but not necessarily the food that feeds our body. How about the food that feeds our soul? I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine in the neighborhood. We were talking about Jesus, and we're having a little religious conversation. And she asked me, she said, when did Jesus first start calling to you? Like, when did you first start getting into it? When I started studying the human body in depth, that's when my spirituality was reignited. And my belief in a higher power could not be more reinforced than what I'm seeing in the human body. We are designed. We are so perfectly designed. We have a couple of backup systems for some stuff. I bet you didn't know that. Let's just take the most obvious one. The best one I can think of is the hand. We have an opposable thumb. This is what sets us apart from most other creatures, right? Our opposable thumb. This little guy here, he's got two nerves. And I'm not just talking about two sensory nerves or one sensory nerve and one motor nerve. No. This little guy, this thumb right here, he is innervated by two different motor nerves. Yeah. Why would he need two different motor nerves? We don't need two different motor nerves for these functions, but it's a backup. So if something went wrong with the main nerve, the biggest nerve that goes to the thumb is the median nerve. And if something happens to that guy, then at least you've got your opposition and you can still use your opposing thumb. You can still use and pick up tools and do stuff. It is a clever backup system. And we don't have too many muscles that have that of a clever backup system. But that one, which is so important, it has a backup system. Guess what else has a little bit of a backup system? The old noggin here. Our skulls have a space the size of a toonie. Yeah, that's right. There's that Canadian money reference again. But it's the size of a toonie. It's a giant, large coin right on the top of your head. And it's just a little space. And why would we need this tiny little space? Why? Why would we need that? In case we got bonked on our head and our brain swells and our brain has somewhere to go. Like it's not a cave. Okay. It is a small cavity, but it is not. Cavity just means empty space. It's just a small little backup chamber in case your brain swells. It's got some place to go and it's not going to kill you. Unless the injury is so severe and the swelling is so severe that small backup space was just insufficient. And you know what? That's just bad luck. The backup system is there for a little bit of a whoopsie and not so much of a ah. I don't know what the difference between those were except for sound effects. Oh my gosh, you'll have to interpret that on your own. This is where we've turned left at Albuquerque. Now you know that I'm going to get on the storytelling from this particular book. And I hope that you'll join me on this journey. I hope that you'll come back. It's not all going to be Christianity all the time. We are still going to talk about the human body. We are still going to talk about crazy stories, but we're going to talk about some of the crazy stories that are in this Bible. And I'm going to tell it to you in the way that I tell my stories. So I do hope you come on this journey with me. You know, aren't you curious for some aha moments? Aren't you curious for some ha-ha moments? And maybe even a few aha along the way as well. P.S. That last one, if you thought that was a Simpsons reference, you're right. If you also think that that's foreshadowing a story to come, you are also right. We'll talk about that another time. All right, so that's it. That's our left turn. I'm going to leave you there. We're going to turn left at Albuquerque, but we're talking about what is it that we are consuming? What are we consuming food-wise, fuel-wise for our bodies? What are we consuming fuel-wise and food-wise and, food for thoughts? What are we consuming for our mind? Where's our entertainment focus going? And what are we consuming for our heart center, for our moral compass, for developing empathy, and for being in this world in the brotherhood of man? What are we doing? What are you doing? I hope that Fl'AwesomeBlossom is part of what you are consuming for a little bit of whimsy, a little bit of education. Hopefully you learned something new about this little guy right here. And you know what? I'm just letting you know. We're going to dive a little bit into Christianity. I am going to be telling you some stories from the greatest story ever told. So I hope that you'll come on this journey with me. I am going to bring it to Jesus a little bit. And you know what? We're going to laugh along the way. Until next time, I hope that you are out there living your life in full Fl'AwesomeBlossom. I will see you next time.